Hello and welcome to another Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film Dying, directed by Matthias Glasner. This is a long, slow film, 3 hours long. It's a heavy watch, it's deliberate, it's slow. It's not plot-driven cinema, it's deep psychological character study. The pace did test my patience a bit, but the payoff was actually well worth the wait. That said, it did require a lot of patience to get to that point. It's definitely one of those films that I found myself thinking a lot about afterwards. There's a lot that I related to in this film, and it is like there's something for everyone. The difficulties and fragilities of a dysfunctional family, the loss of dignity in old age and illness, the messiness of relationships, complicated parenting arrangements, depression, creative genius, the list is long. The film is structured in chapters, each focusing on a different member of a very dysfunctional family. A family that's so dysfunctional it's effectively broken down. There is some overlap between the chapters, with key events being shown from different perspectives. And it's only in the final act that these fragments really begin to resemble a whole. For much of the journey, I did find it a bit all over the place, and a mix of grief, illness, suicide, estrangement. However, by the end, it is like a jigsaw that makes more sense the more it's completed. It clicks together and it lingers. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I admire it. I do think this film is quite brave. Dying doesn't take the easy route with a clear narrative arc or satisfying emotional resolution. It doesn't offer any comfort. It doesn't try to charm us. It trusts the audience to stay with it, even when it's difficult. And in doing so, it starts to become intriguing. It feels like super mature filmmaking, unafraid to leave its audience sitting in some confusion and discomfort. One of the most touching aspects of the film is its handling of suicide. It's not simplistic or moralizing, it's tender. In its own way, it's even beautiful. That may sound strange, but there's a kind of grace in how it's depicted. Less as tragedy, more as a release, letting go. The film honours the complexity of that decision without trying to over-explain or diagnose it. It's a portrayal that feels emotionally honest and compassionate. There are moments where the film does verge on melodrama, and it certainly takes itself seriously, perhaps too seriously. I've seen it described as a comedy, but that definitely feels misleading. There is a kind of gallows humour that runs through the film, but comedy wouldn't be the first genre that comes to mind for me. At its core, this is a bleak, emotionally raw drama about dysfunctional families, unspoken resentments, ageing, illness and death. One scene in particular stands out. A mother and her adult son, Tom, quietly confess to each other that they never liked each other. There's no sentimentality, it's just cold, brutal honesty. It's hard-hearted, and yet it somehow feels liberating, like truth finally breaking through decades of artifice. Two people agreeing that they're not going to perform for each other anymore. And then there's Bernard, the tormented composer. He's actually not a family member. He's a work colleague of Tom, who's a conductor of an orchestra. Bernard is depressed, struggling, and yet he's on the verge of creating his greatest work. His story too is about death, but it's also about creation, even transcendence. It's not an easy film. Midway through, I did question whether it was too much, but by the end, I did find it quite moving, and the more I sit with it, the more it feels like a great film. Dying is slow, difficult, and perhaps occasionally a bit too earnest, but it's also bold, intelligent, and fiercely human. I would recommend it if you have the patience for a 3-hour slow German language movie. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.